have a lot to say about the Scott Galloway, Logan, I think her name is Logan Ury, Diary of a CEO episode. It's like 2 hours long, and it's basically about like everything that we talk about men, the crisis that we're in. And it pains me to say this, but I actually have notes on it. I really do. I think I'm going to do a whole podcast episode about it because I think my feedback is very similar to the TikTok I made this week about the Wall Street Journal article about there being no one for women to date. A lot of it is just kind of like, oh, poor men. And it bothers me that they're trying to find solutions to help these men who are in crisis. And I agree we need to do that because ultimately the only people that are going to be hurt by this are women. Well, not the only people, but the people who are ultimately going to hurt if we continue to have loneliness and like increase in incels are women. But it's just like a little bit annoying because nobody helped women. Like,
I'm not even gonna lie. As I'm making this video, I haven't seen the podcast she's talking about in full, but I'll get around to it at some point. Like a lot of you guys though, I've seen all the viral clips that have been making the rounds on TikTok, so I have a pretty good idea of what the main content of the show is about. In regard to this lady's reaction though, it kind of reeks of that whole men go to war and die, but women are most affected, if that's how the saying goes. Anyway, of course, if men aren't able to match the standards that women are looking for, it's going to affect them, but she talks as if it's not going to also have a detrimental effect on guys too. If men are lonely and unable to find companionship, for whatever reason, they're going to suffer in the long term too. It won't just be women who are having a tough time. When it comes to self-deletion, men account for about 80% of successful attempts. And I say successful because even though women might attempt self-deletion at a higher rate, the way they choose to go about doing so is less effective, which is why people often think that women do it as a cry for help more than to actually see things through to the end. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, from what she said in this clip, the only reason she even wants men to be able to get help is for her own self-interests, and it's nothing to do with the people in need who actually need support. And while we know that women had their issues and struggles in the past, it's not like they went through all that without getting any help at all, which is what she said in this clip. And when you go through the comments on this video, there were a bunch of other people who felt the same way.
No one helped women? How many more scholarships are available for women versus men?
She is acting like there wasn't a massive movement to elevate the well-being of women. There were thousands of books, thousands of articles, millions of hours spent in legislation to elevate women.
I really hate when I hear an argument I agree with, and then the argument goes off the rails. Because what do you mean no one helped women?
Now, while you do have a handful of incels who lost their shit, which I agree, is something that needs to be addressed, the main thing I see happening right now is guys who've simply given up on trying to have any kind of relationship at all. But let's carry on with the video so we can see where she's going with this.
Like when we were behind in education, when we were not earning as much, when we were not able to buy houses, nobody was like, okay, we need to put together groups because women are falling behind. Like we just clawed our way up to this place where we are now, which is, at least in some cities, I think that they mentioned this in the pod, it's like in cities, like women are outperforming men. Like we clawed our way there. There was no help for us. Like there was no, podcasts going, what can we do to help women? Like women one by one clawed their ways into boardrooms, to earning higher, to colleges, to all that stuff. And now we're like having to, course correct because all these men are feeling down and out. It is a crisis, but there's something about it that bothers me again about the framing. Women would love to have masculine men. It's not our fault that we are just, continue to rise. So I have a lot to say about it. It's definitely worth a listen. There's a lot of interesting stats in there. So I think that if you are a single person, you would like it because it will absolutely validate that it's not you and you're not crazy. Like we are actually living through something quite profound right now, you guys. One thing that they all agree on in the podcast is like the digitalization of mating has been catastrophic. Like it's really been catastrophic. So if you are single and you are completely feeling bananas right now, it's not you. The stats are there. We're living through something really crazy.
With women able to make their own way in the world, and as she said, in some ways, they're zooming past the guys. It's really stirred up the dating pot. If women were like men in that they don't really care too much about how much their partner makes, they'd have an easier time when it comes to finding someone to do life with. The thing is, even though society's made some massive changes recently, What men and women look for in each other hasn't changed, and it's not going to change for quite some time. It takes a while for our biology to catch up, and that's if it ever does, as things are seemingly quite stable, at least until the next big war breaks out. Anyway, either one of two things need to happen for us to even stand a chance of balancing the scales when it comes to dating. Either men need to really step their game up so they can compete in the modern-day dating landscape, or women need to start looking past a guy's status and how much he makes. It's obviously a given that some women don't really care if their man makes less than them, and there are men who don't care if their partner's the breadwinner. But in a study done by David Buss way back in 1989, they surveyed over 10,000 people across 37 cultures. And what they found was, in 36 out of 37 cultures, women rated good financial prospects as more important in a potential mate than men did. In 34 out of 37 cultures, men rated physical attractiveness as more important in a potential mate than women did. Women generally preferred older partners, while men preferred younger partners. Of course, I'll leave a link to the study in the description so you can check that out. But I shared this just to show that men and women do have their preferences when it comes to finding a mate. And with how the modern world's been shook up right now, we're not quite ready to handle that. Now I will agree with her that online dating has messed things up a lot. But trust me, there are a few guys out there who are benefiting from that whole setup. And these are usually the men that women say are giving them a tough time. So if you're just a regular dude who's out here looking for love, you're gonna be in for one hell of a battle if online dating is your only option. And for you ladies out there who are swiping right on the same dude as the rest of your friends, don't expect anything serious to come out of that. Anyway guys, what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments.